Okay, so here we've got the short answers now. So we've got the Yarra Grove Wool Factory has 48,000 balls of wool to ship out to surrounding retailers at the end of each week. The number of balls of wool remaining at the factory after N weeks can be modelled by this recurrence relation. So just take note that this is a week-to-week recurrence relation. So it said a recursion can be used to calculate the number of balls of wool remaining in the factory after 2 weeks. So here you go. So you had to fill in the boxes. In your exam, you probably have to write it out, or in your test, it'll say show recursively how you the value or the number of balls of wool after 1 week and 2 weeks. So you would have to write this whole thing out. But in this one, we're just popping in the values. So then what goes in here? We'd have, and then we minus 3,500 of that, which ends up being 41,000. So that's that. So in a test, you might have to write all of that out yourself. Okay. So how many balls of wool does the factory ship out each week? They're just seeing if you can interpret the scenario. It's that easy. Yeah, it's 3,500. That's how many are taking away each week. Now, here it says the number of balls remaining in the factory after N week. So that's the nth rule. Yeah, so the nth term. So if you go to your formula sheet, sorry, oh God, I did that again. Here. So if you go there, you can see it's minusing. It's like a flat rate, isn't it? So you want an nth term to look like that. So we'll go back, you go, all right, it'll have to write it like that. So if you go back to it, you've got Vn. Now it said the Vnth term was VO minus, I think it was D times N. So what is D in your scenario here? Yeah, and it's with the N, so that goes there. So what will this one be? The VO, which is, what did it start with? 48,000. Good. All right. So the factory continues to ship out the wool at the same rate. How many weeks? So how many weeks does the number of balls of the wool remaining in the factory first become less than 15,500? So you could use that nth term here because you want to know when will it be that, and you want the weeks. So then you said minus 3,500 N. So N is the question, yeah? So what would I do in this scenario here? If I got to this part, what do you think I'm going to do? What would you do? Solve, good, because you've got an equation with one thing. So we'll go and, where's my calculator? We'll do that. So menu 3-1, 15,500 equals 48,000 minus 3,500 times N, common Ed, because that was VO in the formula. Yeah, it's the same question. So we get 9.2, what was it, 9.2 or something? So N equals 9.2. So it's after 9 weeks, is it there? No. So you have to go up, don't you? So therefore you say after 10 weeks. Because if you go down, you haven't reached it yet. So you must go over with this one. All right, the next one. Samuel owns a printing machine. The Samuel's printing machine depreciates at flat rate. So because I know it's flat rate, so I know which formulas I've got to be looking at. And they said they've got, this is N years, so this is the recurrence relation, which they gave me. Now, by what amount in dollars does the value of the machine decrease each year? Just asking you to interpret that recurrence relation. How much does it drop every year? What is it? Yeah, this one here, yeah? 15,000. So now this is important. It's now saying show recursively the value of the machine after 2 years. You've got VO up there. So it says after 2 years, and you have to show it recursively. So that means you have to write V1 would be the VO minus the 15,000, and then you get an answer. So even if you want to just quickly do it on your calculator recursively, so you got 120,000, press enter, you're going to minus 15,000, so you get 105, and then you go V2 equals the one before, so it's 105,000 minus 15,000 and equals, what does that equal? So you can always just keep pressing enter, so you get 90,000. Now, if you don't have that written, all of that written, you don't get your mark. So if you just had 90,000, wrong. If you only had one of them, wrong. Okay? You have to show that. Now, it's asking us what is the annual rate of percentage. So that is little r. So you're in flat rate. So you're looking at your formulas. So if you look at your formulas, you're in flat rate and you want little r. So you've got little r in this bit, if you like. So let's use that formula. So if I go back here, I can go, all right, D equals little r over 100 times VO. What was D in this scenario? What's it going down by every time? 15,000 equals R, I don't know, times what's VO? 120. What will I do at this point? Good. So I'll use solve, comma R. So R equals, so what do we get? So if we'll do that, menu 3, 1. So we had 15,000 equals little r over 100. Oh, God. Sorry. Little r times VO, which was comma r. So 12.5%. So that is your answer. Okay, so then it says here, okay, we've got a little bit. It says the value of the machine after n years could be determined using the rule. So you've been asked to write the rule. Remember, if they say rule, it's the nth term, and this is for flat rate. So if you go over and you go into flat rate, it will say Vn equals VO minus n times D or whatever. Okay, they're just putting different letters in the spot, but you just write it down. So what would Vn? What is VO for us?
120.
Yeah. So all it was saying is just write it in that format. What is D? Was 15. Oh, it's not plus, is it? Was this a depreciating? Yeah?
Yeah.
So so it says write the rule. So it's minus 15,000 n. Okay, that's all you had to do. Sometimes in other exams, they might say it's written in this format. Tell me what A is and tell me what B is. Well, A is 120 and B would equal negative 15,000. Okay, so sometimes they ask it like that, but you just were asked to write it out like that. So that's all you had to do. Okay, the last one, Marion plays guitar. He paid 3,200 for a new guitar. The value of the guitar depreciates at a fixed amount for each concert. So that's sort of like a unit cost, isn't it? Don't you think? Because per every concert. So the use is a concert. So after 25 concerts, the value will have decreased by 200. What will the value of Marion's guitar be after 25 concerts? So if it's decreased by 200, so what's the value? So you just had, well, he was, after 25, it had decreased by 200. So you just have to do 3,264 minus 200. Yeah? 3,064 is the answer. Okay, write a calculation that shows that it depreciates by $8 per concert. So what you could do is you say D equals the we just look at that formula. It says the amount decreased over the number of uses. So you could just then write, and you have to show this. So you have to say it decreased by 200 over 25 uses, so therefore equaled 8. You had to have that. You would have to have had at least this to get that mark. If you just wrote 8 and like you know, you're not getting it, you won't get the mark. So now it says Marion's value of a guitar can be by the rule. So that's nth term rule. So when we have unit cost, what we put VO for nth term, VO minus D. So what was VO? Wasn't it? And what every concert drops by? 8. Okay? The value of the guitar continues to depreciate by 8 concerts. How many concerts will the value first fall below 2,500? So you want the value to be this, and you want to know how many. So n's how many? So if you go 3, 2, 6, I'm using that nth rule. And what am I going to do now? Can I do solve? Yes? Comma n. So we'll do that on our calc. So menu 3, 1, 2,500 equals 3, 2, 6, 4 minus 8 times n, comma n. Oops. So n equals 95.5. So has it dropped by, if I go to 95, has it dropped yet? No. So what do we have to say? Good. Therefore, after 96 concerts, it's dropped. Okay.